It's not uncommon to need to add a new column in a worksheet or a new row. On this worksheet, it's called Insert Delete. It's in the file 05 layout. I'm going to add a new record above Diane Andrews here. So I'm going to right-click row 3 and insert. And I'll type in the information. But in this worksheet, maybe I forgot something. I'm scrolling to the right here. There's other data off to the right. Now, worse things could happen. I didn't delete any data, but I introduced cells over there that I really shouldn't have. So let's undo this. Control Z. What can we do? Let's just highlight these cells right here and be sure, as we do right-click this time, not on the row number, but within the highlighted area. Right-click. This time insert is followed by 3 dots. That means there will be a dialog box appearing. And there it is. And what do we want to do? Shift cells down. Click OK. We'll put in the data later, but off to the right, we have not disrupted. Now, if it's a case of delete, this is going to be much more serious. First of all, let me undo this, Control Z. At a later time, I'm saying, Danielle here has left the organization. Let's just get rid of her records here, all that information. We right-click and delete. And of course, you know what's happened here. I wasn't paying attention, and what happened? Well, we lost some data off to the right. And by the way, sometimes when you do this, it's not obvious until maybe it's too late. But it certainly happened here and disrupted this table. We've got a missing entry there, and we lost a state or something over there. We're not sure. Obviously, we'd want to undo that too. And similar, as with insert, we take the same kind of action. If we want to get rid of the data here for Danielle Atkinson, we highlight just these cells and right-click within them, choose delete, and this time shift cells up. So the information about her will disappear. Nothing will happen anywhere to the right of column I. Her data is gone, and nothing got changed over here. At other times, you might want to insert a column. We need a new column here for phone number. We want it to be to the left of column D. So we right-click on column D and insert. We'll put in the phone number here and add the data later. As it turns out, I don't need that. Right-click and delete. You're much less likely to need to insert cells within a column, as we saw with the row. On the next worksheet over, it's called Hide, Unhide. We're about to print this. We just don't want to print Social Security number. So right-click column D and hide the column. A quick print preview is Control P, and there's no gaping hole in here to indicate there ever was any data there anyway, and we didn't need to print it, so that's the perfect solution there. We'll print it eventually. Let's press Escape, come back. At a later time, we need to get it back, so we drag across those 2 columns. That's where the hidden column is. Right-click and unhide is certainly one way to do it. Another way, I'll press Control Z again to undo the action. Drag across these cells, double-click the column boundary, and that causes the data to reemerge as well too. Always be on the lookout for hidden columns. I've been surprised over the years how often I have missed them and haven't thought about it. And what if, for example, I'm going to hide column B, hide column I. Maybe some other columns are hidden way off to the right. It's a larger worksheet perhaps. How do we get back all of these hidden columns? Click in the upper left corner. That selects the entire worksheet. And then what? We can either right-click a column and choose Unhide, or double-click any column boundary. Double-click means best fit. Double-click, all the hidden columns reemerge. But always be on the lookout for them. You'd be surprised how often they can be easily overlooked. Same thing with rows. They're less likely to be hidden, but in the list to the left here, the Insert Delete worksheet, if we're hiding all the people in a certain department here, we don't want them in the printout here, I'll hide this group right here. Drag across these, right-click and hide. Now, when you copy and save and print and use this worksheet, a lot of times you're not looking down there. Do you assume automatically as you're working with the data that that data is there? Well, you might scroll up and down, but you might not. So even here, if it's unfamiliar data or data you haven't seen in a while, not a bad idea. Click in the upper left corner to select the entire worksheet. Either double-click any row boundary or right-click and unhide. In this case, we did get the data back. So valuable features. And notice that all these commands were done with the right mouse button or by double-clicking. We didn't use any of the standard menu choices.